your tickets in a flash at Ticket Dash. Ticket Dash, gonna make you smile when you save some cash at Ticket Dash. Ticket Dash, ticketdash.com.
Welcome to the Sports Bash pregame show presented by ticketbash.com. Our phone number is 516-430-4286. That's the number to call in and join the show. We welcome our viewers on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll welcome our radio audience on LI News Radio in a few moments. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by Vinny Tickets. Also, WizKid Vinny is with us as usual. We are at our brand new studios at Ready Set Studios in Lynbrook here on Long Island. Very exciting as we start week 3, Vinny, of our daily sports show.
Oh, so exciting. What a great first 2 weeks. Really excited to get into the studio and really expand our program.
Absolutely. We're very excited to be here. There's going to be a lot of new stuff that we're working on now that we are in these brand new studios. So we're looking forward to that. Coming up after we rejoin our radio audience, we're going to have the Sports Bash Flash with WizKid Vinny. We'll have this day in sports history. But just to get things started before we welcome in the radio audience, obviously a rough Sunday for the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Not the way that you thought this was going to go after the first 2 games of the series. But at the end of the day, we talked about this off the air, just way too many injuries, way too many bodies banged up, and not enough players in that rotation to get the job done yesterday.
Well, I think when you look at the overall series and you look at the points off the bench, you know, you can't go with 5 or 6 guys, 6 or 7 guys. It just makes it's very tolling on the body. I mean, it's very difficult to play that competitive at that level, not be able to take breaks, and still expect to come out with a victory.
And I think all in all, this is not to diminish the hurt of the loss, but when you put everything into perspective, where this team was at the end of last year, granted they got to the second round last year also, but I think there's just a different feeling about this team, especially if they can get Hartenstein re-signed. He's going to be a free agent. I think they have to bring him back in the mix. They've got all those draft picks and in free agency and trades, but I think when you look at the totality of the whole Knicks situation, you have to be feeling pretty good about the direction of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, did they lose? Yes, they lost in 7, number 1. And number 2, if you look at the overall season, I would definitely say that it was a success.
Has to be you for you. Now, the one concern you do have, obviously, going into the offseason, Jalen Brunson left the game yesterday with that broken hand. And again, he's been plagued with the foot problems. There were other issues, during the course of the season where he's missed games here and there. You just hope he can rest up during the offseason, have that hand become healthy, and go full bore when next season starts.
Absolutely. That's what we need.
And Mitchell Robinson is another banged-up player. You wonder if he's going to be in the Knicks' future. There's other guys, OG Anunoby. He tried the Willis Reed impersonation yesterday.
You knew right away.
You could tell that he just wasn't moving.
He was hobbling.
And credit head coach Tom Thibodeau for immediately recognizing that even though he probably wouldn't have asked out of the game himself, it was just the right thing to do. You're trying to build something here, and he's going to be a critical piece for this Knicks team going forward. So that was the right thing to do, is get him out of there and just try to piece it together. And it just wasn't enough. And here was the other problem yesterday too. The Knicks didn't shoot that well, but Indiana had an NBA 67% from the field. I mean, who shoots like that?
It was insane. I was watching the game, and all I kept saying as I'm watching, they don't miss. They don't miss.
And just the guy's wide open in the corner. He puts up the shot, and it's going in.
Yeah. They didn't miss.
And that put the Knicks in a very, very tough situation. Yeah. So that's it for our pregame show. And coming up in just a couple of moments, we're going to welcome in our LI News Radio audience. It's coming up shortly. We'll be back with the start of Sports Bash presented by ticketbash.com in just a moment. Welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. 516-430-4286 is the number to call the show. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage, by Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-607-4LAW. That's 631-607-4529. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. Visit their website at martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Ready Set Studios, a full-service content marketing agency. For a free consultation, call them at 516-509-8277. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by Vinny Tickets, and WizKid Vinny will join us with The Flash and also with This Day in Sports History. We welcome you inside our brand new studios here at Ready Set Studios in Lynbrook on Long Island. Very excited, Vinny. First of all, good morning again, and a great new era here for Sports Bash in these brand new studios, and we're starting to decorate the place a little bit.
Yeah, we're just getting started with that. So.
Absolutely, and we've got a great show for you this morning. We're going to be giving away tickets to tonight's New York Liberty versus Seattle game at Barclays Center. What an atmosphere Saturday at Barclays Center for the Liberty's home opener as they beat Caitlin Clark in Indiana. A sellout crowd of 17,000 people, another raucous atmosphere expected. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets for that tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely, but first, it is time for the Sports Bash Flash. It is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner is located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash, get a free dessert with your meal. And here with the unhappy news from the Knick game and the other things that happened in the world of sports locally yesterday, WizKid Vinny.
Thanks, Peter. In Madison Square Garden, the season came to an end for the Knicks as New York fell to the Indiana Pacers 130-109 in Game 7 of the second round of the NBA playoffs. Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau spoke after the game if the season was a success or not.
The thing that you, as a coach, you always measure, okay, what does the group have, and are we getting everything out of the group? And the only thing you could ask for is everyone puts forth their best effort. And we got that all year from these guys.
Game 1 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers will be tomorrow at 8 on ESPN. Over in the Barclays Center, the Liberty look to go 4-0 on the season as they're set to take on the Seattle Storm tonight at 7. This Wednesday night will be Game 1 of the NHL Eastern Conference Finals as the Rangers will face off against the Florida Panthers in MSG. In baseball, the Yankees were tied 2 apiece in the bottom of the 4th with John Birdie at the plate with 2 men on base.
It's gone! Home run into the porch in right field for John Birdie.
Justin Shackle and WFAN on the call. The Yankees complete the sweep with a 7-2 victory and winning their 7th straight game. They'll begin their series against the AL West leading Seattle Mariners at 7:05 tonight. And finally in Miami, the Mets avoided the road sweep against the Miami Marlins with a 7-3 victory. The Mets will begin their series against the AL Central leading Cleveland Guardians at 6:10 tonight. With your Sports Bash Flash, I'm WizKid Vinny Laspanuso.
All right, Vinny, thank you very much. Again, phone number to call here on Sports Bash is 516-430-4286. That's a new phone number, 516-430-4286. So you can call us and keep that number handy. You might need it a little bit later on in the show to try and win those Liberty tickets for tonight against Seattle. Vinny, we talked about this on the pregame show. Obviously, it was a frustrating day for the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. You knew it was going to be a challenge with the Knicks already being shorthanded, but then you throw in, Anunoby gave it a great shot. He just couldn't go. Josh Hart was not himself, but you credit him for giving it a shot. They wind up losing Jalen Brunson in the third quarter. By that point, I think it was too late for the Knicks anyway. But it's hard to not look at the whole season in totality and just focus on the disappointment of yesterday. I think this was a terrific season for the Knicks as they move forward here. Yeah,
without a doubt. So when you talk about the Knicks, and you have to take the totality of the season and the season as a whole to get this far. I don't think that if you came into the beginning of the year and you said the Knicks are going to go. They're going to be a number 2 seed, number 1, and then number 2, take the second round and go to 7 games. You'd say, I think you're being very optimistic. They did it, and they did it they did a fantastic job in getting that far and playing as hard as they did with as many challenges as they had. So, to face the adversity, and even yesterday, when you looked at that game, I was speaking to a friend yesterday. I said, for some reason, they always, we spoke about it a lot on the show last week. They were resilient and they figured out a way. They find a way.
They should make a T-shirt that says "Find a Way."
I like that.
That would be nice.
Yeah, Sports Bash. Find a way.
There you go.
So but I kind of felt going into yesterday's game that the magic might have ran out.
Yeah, just not enough.
Too much. It was just too much.
And you think, listen, they were able to tread water without Julius Randle, and then other injuries pop up. Mitchell Robinson gets hurt. Josh Hart's banked. It just you're talking about, a team can survive an injury or maybe two injuries. But look, the Atlanta Braves still won the World Series without Ronald Acuna Jr. So, I mean, you can do things. The Islanders went to the Final Four in the NHL without Anders Lee a few years ago. So you can get through one injury. It's when you get 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and it's just.
I think it was 5, right? Yeah, 5 key players.
If you look at the players that did not finish the season for the Knicks, it is an outstanding starting 5 in the NBA. It was so it's Anunoby, it's Brunson, it's Robinson, it's Randall, and Bogdanovich. So I mean, those 5 players, that's a starting 5 in the NBA.
Right, and you can't overcome that.
So, number to call is 516-430-4286, and let's go to Glenn in Flushing. Glenn, you're up first here on Sports Bash. Good morning. Oh, we're going to have to call him back because. Listen, it's the first day of the studios. We'll get through the first day issues here on Sports Bash as we navigate our way through the new studios. But again, I think while you deal with the disappointment of yesterday, all great signs looking ahead for the Knicks. Let's go back to the phones. Let's try this again. Glenn is in Flushing. Glenn, good morning. Welcome to Sports Bash.
Good morning, guys, and I hope you had a great weekend. A little disappointing with the Knicks, and congratulations on the new digs.
Yes, we're still, it's kind of like we have to go to IKEA and all those places and do a little more furnishing, but we're very, very happy to be here. A lot of good stuff. Thank you, Glenn.
Oh, awesome. So a couple of things. I just wanted to end with the Mets, but first with the Knicks. All the talk on sports radio, of course, some negativity surrounding the history of Tom Thibodeau and overworking his players with the injury to Julius Randle. I know it's a little bit of, sour grapes right now from the Knicks fans, but any truth to that? Like Tom Thibodeau just gets and demands so much of his players that they have nothing left at this point in the season, and sometimes they get injured. What do you guys think?
I think that's low-hanging fruit, to blame him for doing what he could do to get the most out of his team. The only thing I fault Tom Thibodeau all season long was the game that Julius Randle got hurt, because the Knicks had that game well in hand and he's still in there against the Miami Heat.
Right.
That's the only mistake I think that Thibodeau made. And look, you can't go back and take it back. It happened. It is what it is. That's the only thing. But you get into the playoffs, especially in the playoffs, Vinny. You've got to go with the rotation that you think is best. You're not playing, the Washington Wizards in the playoffs. You're not playing the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs. You're not playing the teams that didn't make. You're playing against the best teams, and you have to try and put the guys out there on the court that give you the best chance. And as long as they have no problem playing, you play them.
Yeah, and Glenn, thanks for calling. And Peter brought out a great point about the low-hanging fruit. And when something goes wrong, I think everybody wants to point to somebody or something. But at the end of the day, you know what? The Knicks season was a success. Absolutely was a success. And here we are, playing Monday morning quarterback. They didn't have the people off the bench to play. And that was the challenge. They did have 3 or 4 guys that they could have been rotating off the bench, bringing them in, getting guys a breather. So, like Peter said, the low-hanging fruit, I do agree with that one Randall perspective, but at the end of the day, the Knicks season was a success.
Glenn, really quick, we got 30 seconds on the Mets.
Yes, there's been a lot of talk over the weekend with the Mets' horrendous two losses that they might trade Alonso and J.D. Martinez by the trade deadline. What do you guys think? Have you heard about it?
Well, first of all, Glenn, thanks again for the phone call. Let me quickly answer that. Listen, with three wild cards, I don't think there's any reason to panic just yet. We're not even at the All-Star break, not anywhere close to it. So, no, I don't think that's going to happen. And the Mets are still on the periphery of getting into the wild card race. So, no, I don't think that's going to happen. When we come back on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, we'll have our New York Liberty ticket giveaway. We'll have This Day in Sports History. All of that coming up. It's Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, and we're coming back. Don't forget our YouTube and Facebook audience. Stay with us through the break, and we'll rejoin LI News Radio momentarily.
Great job, guys.
All right, we are back inside our brand new studios here at Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Peter Schwartz, along with Vinny Tickets and WizKid Vinny. And it's always a great chance to talk about our sponsors during this break. And one of our big sponsors, and we're so excited to have the Embassy Diner on board with us. Embassy Diner, located on Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Go in and see Gus and tell him and his staff that you heard about it on Sports Bash, and you will get a free dessert with your meal. And we're looking forward to a big Sports Bash powwow coming up this week at Embassy Diner.
Oh, looking forward to it.
It's going to be
great. I hope
great.
Gus makes something special for us.
You know what? I'm going to text him later on today and see if there's some kind of appetizer he can throw on the table when we're there this week to have a little powwow. But the food is great at Embassy Diner, and the best thing about is the service that you get is a family-friendly atmosphere. Everybody is greeted when they come through the doors like family. And again, the food is great. So many different options that you can choose from, and obviously give them a call in advance if you have to make a reservation for a big table like we're going to have to do. You give Gus a call and they'll take care of you. We were in there a few weeks ago, and just a phenomenal place.
Yeah, everything was delicious and the service was great.
And again, I don't like to keep repeating myself, but my go-to thing there are those paninis, man. Those paninis are out of this world. My wife and I sometimes will share the chicken souvlaki when we go there, so it's fantastic.
Chicken souvlaki.
Yes,
there
absolutely.
You go.
Can't go wrong with a nice souvlaki at a diner.
Yes, no question about it. And the Embassy Diner is great. So we're going to welcome back our LI News Radio audience in just a moment. And again, that phone number to call is 516-430-4286. Keep that number handy. We're coming back with a ticket giveaway shortly. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. 516-430-4286 is the number to call and join the show. We're talking about the Knicks. We're talking about a great weekend that the Yankees had, and the Mets finally salvaged the game over the weekend yesterday. But it is time now for This Day in Sports History. We welcome back in WizKid Vinny.
Thanks, Peter. Now, this is going to feel a little timely, or timing is a little good or bad depending on your perspective, but on this day in 1972, the Indiana Pacers won their second championship in 3 years.
In the ABA.
Yes, that's correct. In the ABA, they were a dynasty there, and it was against the New York Nets. This time was actually before they were in Nassau Coliseum. At this time, they were actually
in the Island Garden.
They were in the Island Garden Arena. That area now is 45 Cherry Valley Avenue in West Hempstead.
The shopping center.
Yeah, it's right there. It's a Stop and Shop, and right across it's like a youth football and baseball field. I've gone there myself, actually. And this was the Nets' first ever championship in the ABA championship, and the first ever finals appearance of any kind. And this was also the last year that Rick Barry was in the ABA. In case you guys don't know, Rick Barry, the legendary Golden State Warrior, before he went back to the Warriors, he spent some time in the ABA for the Oakland Oaks and, of course, the New York Nets, and was a consistent MVP candidate. And, he went back to the Warriors after this season, and he eventually won a championship with them again, with Hall of Fame coach Al Attles winning Finals MVP. And those Pacers teams, for those that don't know, I would argue the Pacers' best run was in the ABA. They were a dynasty, winning 3 championships in 4 years, led by Bobby Leonard, the Hall of Fame head coach, and also great Hall of Fame players. The late George McGinnis, who recently passed, but also Roger Brown and I think their greatest player in team history, Mel Daniels. So, yeah, giving a shout-out. Believe me, it was not because the Pacers beat the
That's
the
okay.
Knicks.
We'll give you a pass on this one. How do we think the Pacers are going to fare against the Celtics? Because obviously they gave the Knicks all kinds of trouble with their outside shooting, and you just wonder if they're going to be able to sustain that against the Celtics, who are now rested a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Rest is so key in every sport when you go to the playoffs. Getting a little bit of a break. If they play that. Wiz, I'm interested to hear what you think, but if they play that run and gun style offense where it's press, how do you think the Celtics are equipped to handle that kind of offense?
Well, the Celtics are the team I think have been the best in the East all season long. And when it comes to the Pacers, they've had a great season. Okay, 6 in the East, made it back to the playoffs. They beat the Bucks. Granted, that was with Giannis and Lillard out. And they beat the Knicks in 7. Again, a lot of injuries caught up to them. The Celtics, I think, are the deepest team in the NBA.
They only have one injury right now to worry about, and that's Porzingis is out.
Well, let's make the prediction. Celtics in or Pacers in?
Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 6. I'm saying that mostly because the Pacers have that momentum of winning. They might be playing a bit over their head, but I think in the end, just the Celtics, their depth is their main aspect. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. He's mentioning Porzingis, but you also have Al Horford there. You have Derek White there. You have Drew Holiday on that team. You also have Joe Mazzulla as your coach. Like, in general, the Celtics are just too loaded, and they are the best roster in the NBA. They're definitely going to the NBA Finals, and Jason Tatum's winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
And I think Dallas will beat Minnesota, so I think you'll have Dallas and Boston in the NBA Finals.
All right, so I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I always like to buck the system here. So I'm going with Pacers in 6.
Oh.
Listen, if the Pacers, I would not be shocked. Rick Carlisle is a Hall of Fame.
Well, what do you mean you wouldn't be shocked? You
would-
just took the Celtics on us.
I would not be shocked considering it's Rick Carlisle.
I would be shocked. I just don't. I don't think the Pacers are going to.
It's too easy.
For Rick Carlisle, I would not be shocked. But as a whole, I would be shocked if the Celtics somehow lose. As for the West, in case you're curious, I had the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their defense, the way they shut down the Nuggets last night, one of the best second half performances I've seen in a long time. Coming down 15 points, the largest comeback in a Game 7 in history, just clamping down Jokic and Murray. I mean, you have Rudy Gobert on the team, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns. I think the defense is going to overtake the Mavericks. I really do.
It's time to give away 2 tickets for tonight's New York Liberty versus Seattle Storm game at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Here's what you have to do. Remember, this is a new format here with our new studios. Text the word Liberty to 516-430-4286. That's 516-430-4286. Text the word Liberty, and we will pick a winner at random. Those Liberty games, Vinny, have really presented, going back to the end of last year into the playoffs, a tremendous atmosphere at Barclays Center. Anybody who goes to the games has so much fun. I'm looking forward to getting to a game with my family pretty soon.
Absolutely. A lot of energy in the building, a lot of excitement. Obviously, we know what happened this weekend. But the place is selling out.
Yeah, they sold out in the playoffs last year, and they sell off at Caitlin Clark. I imagine there'll be another great crowd there again tonight. I think they play Angel Reese in Chicago later on in the week in Brooklyn, so that's going to be a great thing. So we look forward to having a winner. I did want to bring up, before we ran out of time, I was at a great event yesterday at UBS Arena. The Islanders and Northwell Health have this program called Play It Forward, where they award scholarships to these kids who learn how to play. They enter the program and they learn how to play hockey. It's in underserved areas on Long Island, and there were 3 winners that were announced yesterday at UBS Arena. It's a great program to introduce kids to playing the great game of hockey. The Northwell Health hockey team helps out with coaching. Former Islander Aaron Asham is the lead coach for this program, and it's just a great way to get kids into hockey. And I was talking to a few people there yesterday, and the first part is getting the kids to not be scared of getting on the ice. By the way, they get all the equipment for free. Wow. For 3 years, if they get the scholarship, they get all the equipment for free. They learn how to play. It's like four hours of instruction. It's a wonderful program, and they're bringing the game of hockey to kids who may never have had the opportunity to do that because of the situation that they're in.
Yeah, hockey's a tough sport to just pick up and play. I mean, even the kids that play now, whether it's on a high school or a collegiate level, you know, these kids are going to ice rinks at 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. So that's really a great program.
And it's expensive to play ice hockey. I mean,
Yes.
I had one of my doctors. His son plays hockey, and here's a doctor who makes a fortune of money. And I went in there one day, and he's like, $30,000 this year for my kid to play hockey. And I'm like, even someone who can afford it says how much it is, and that's a lot.
It's a mortgage payment.
So what the Islanders and Northwell Health are doing with Play It Forward is just an outstanding program, and it was a great event that they had yesterday at UBS Arena. Congratulations to the 3 kids who won the scholarships, and thanks to the Islanders and Northwell Health for doing a great job. We haven't really talked much about the Yankees. Red hot Yankees, 7 straight wins. They win again yesterday, 7-2 over the White Sox. 13 wins in 15 games. Vinny, they got the lowest ERA in the American League, and they don't have Garrett Cole.
I know.
Is it unbelievable?
It's unbelievable. Peter, I think that's your cue to say, get the checkbook out.
Well, that's Juan Soto, after a little bit of a struggle, had 2 home runs on Saturday. Aaron Judge, again, everybody was worried about, Aaron Judge and on fire now, 13 home runs. So I don't think we have to worry about Aaron Judge.
Yeah, my wife yesterday saw his batting average. By the way, shout out to my wife. She saw his batting average. She's like, oh my God, Aaron Judge is hitting 470 on the year. I said, well, no. I don't think so.
Well, there was a moment where he was under 200, and now I think he's up like 275 or something like that.
Yes.
So that's outstanding.
He's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
He's so phenomenal.
That will do it for this edition of Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com from our brand new studios here at Ready Set Studios in Lynbrook here on Long Island. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Falcone Law Firm, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and Ready Set Studios. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching us on our Sports Bash Media Facebook and YouTube pages and listening on 103.9 FM LI News Radio. We're back with more tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We've got more ticket giveaways this week. We'll have some guests. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you again tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, right here at Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com.